Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I actually want to hop on real quick. I did not do my March recap, or in general, I've not been doing my recaps for every month. Something I actually want to implement to do quite often, and literally at the end of every month, just a recap of how the month has been going. You know what I'm saying? So, straight to it, March recap. Few things that I really picked up. One of them was really getting out my okay. This can be really challenging myself to talk to random people. I have always, worked on my confidence, but more so this time it was more intentional. It would be already you can't leave the gym until you've spoken to three people. Already you have to tell someone that you're like inspired by, for example, like you have to go up to them and tell them they inspire you. So for example, I was in the gym one time. It wasn't even planned necessarily, but there was a kid there. I think he was like 16 or something, bro. He was really, yeah, he was overweight, really was. But yo, man, I saw him putting in the work. I saw him coming in, day out, and I was just like, let me just approach him. And I literally told him, bro, you inspire me. For him, he was like confused, you know what I mean? Especially looking at me, he was comparing the two of us. Like, yeah, obviously, I'm maybe in better shape or whatever the case was, but like it just shook him, bro. Like when I say it shook him, bro. He was so shocked. But I was like, yeah, man, now I'm really serious. Like, yo, real talk. You do inspire me. Yeah, so I think with that, it was more so the hope of who knows how far your words can go. You know what I'm saying? I do believe, I think it's just in how to win friends, how to influence people. Same topic about how people do crave, um, being like shown off, or they do crave. I don't have the word on my mind right now, but it's just that craving of almost acclamation, I guess, in a way. So yeah, I really hope my words went far. Who knows, bro? He could remember that comment for years to come. You know what I'm saying? For years to come. Out of all people, like you just don't know what your words can do for somebody else. So that was the first thing that I really wanted to touch on. Next up was the dopamine detox. I did go on a dopamine detox, the only one I've been on, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Or did I do two? I'm not sure, but it was around like the 10th to the 17th of March. I do know it wasn't perfect because my screen time was still hitting like 4 hours or whatever it was. Obviously, the variables were it needs to be 1 hour. But for the most part, I do know I did stick to the YouTube thing of no YouTube. That one was great. Dopamine detox was great, man. It really does reset your levels of focus and realizing that you don't need to be watching the things you're watching. You know what I mean? As a result, I unsubscribed to so many channels, bro. It's just a lot of noise, a lot of noise. And now I'm at a point, dude, I barely watch YouTube. The only time I'm really watching is when I'm intentional with it. So I usually am grasping some type of knowledge from what I'm watching. I don't usually watch for entertainment. I'm not gonna say it's completely like that. There are hiccups here and there. There are times where I'm like, man, nah, I'm tired today, or whatever the case is, and I do slip up. No, that's I will say it as it is, but really amazing. Yeah, the variables are great, man. What 1 hour screen time, no YouTube, and I do not recall the other one. I do not recall. But anyways, dopamine detox was great. I just needed to implement it more seriously. I can say I needed to be more intentional, really stick to it, and So I'm definitely gonna do it again, most definitely. Um, One thing I really learned during that period, I was reading Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz, and the biggest thing that I think I got out that book, okay, one of the things was I becoming self-aware, but it was highlighted to me that I've been a passive guy for for in most situations in my life. He refers to it as Mr. Passivationist. Yeah, Mr. Passivationist. Basically, yeah, that was me, man. For most things, bro, I'd always delay things, mostly because of trying to perfect them, trying to be a perfectionist before something is done, trying to get it to the T. And as a result, that's why I had been procrastinating on starting my TikTok. After I'd read that book, it was actually the reason I started it. There was a line where he says conditions are never perfect, and ever since I've ran off with that thing in almost everything that I do now. Even just now with this video, bro. Like I just do things now. Like if it's on my mind, I'm doing it then and there. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to consider so many factors. I just move with speed, bro. Just move with speed. You know what I mean? That's all it's been. Next up, I did go to a party that month. Not a party, like the club that month. I didn't drink no alcohol. I do remember that story, man. The bill came, and I ended up being the one having to stress about how it's gonna get paid. I really, really was mad that day. If anything, I had every right to actually drink that day, but I was happy to have abstained and really stuck to my variables and stuck to my, uh, yeah, just held myself accountable. I was like, nah, we're not drinking today, and I didn't. It was amazing. And I also realized that it came to a realization that, man, it's parting stuff, bro. Man, it's an insatiable feeling. Meaning that, like, yo, it's a never-ending feeling. I'm always like, you're always gonna want to go back and watch and go to a party. You're always gonna want to drink again. It's a never fulfilling. It's an unfulfilling feeling. You're always gonna have to go back until to fulfill and feel that same way each and every single time. You know what I mean? And I realized, like, yo, the club will always be there, man. Just focus on yourself, do your own thing. Like, the club will always be there. I'm at a point now, bro, where I don't even recall when the last time I went out, but even so, when it's a club scene or whatever, bro, I'm not even interested. I can't even say I genuinely miss it. And you should know the place that I stay, yeah, like, there's every type of temptation to be going out, but I'm not even budging, man. I'm really not budging. Yeah, nah. But yeah, I did need to go out to that party, to be honest. I feel like it just made me self-aware and really opened my eyes to, like, yo, dude, this thing, man, like, yo, just, bro, I don't know. That's how I just feel towards it. I'm like, nah, pointless. Um, yeah, towards the end of the month, towards the end of April, I did start backtracking off the variables and, everything that I need to get done. It's definitely a quality or a behavior I know within myself is not new to me. I am able to, hop on something, like stick to a routine, but I get to a point of burnout. I think that's one thing I realized. I get to a point of burnout, a thing of maybe boredom of doing the same things every day, or more so like the mental toughness to stick through. You know what I mean? Because it's not like this is the first time this has happened. It's happened a multitude of times where I just go off track for a bit, but I do like how I can get back on track really fast. If I really think about, I'm like, yo, dude, what are you doing actually? After 4 days, it may take some time, but I do know when Oloita gets back to it, he's getting back to it. You know what I mean? Same time, straight to the point, straight to it. Biggest thing I need to work on is really sticking to the program, no matter what. It must become a lifestyle. It must be an everyday thing. That's what I need to learn and figure out how I'm gonna, implement and stick to it through and through. That's my biggest thing. I always, bro, momentum is here. It's like exponentially rising, rising, rising. And then there's a point where it just, you know, flattens out and then goes back down. Then I have to pick up from the beginning again, you know what I mean? But I just need to realize, man, just do even the smallest type of progress. Rather do something that day that'll, even if it's 1%, add it to the list. Rather that the compound effect will come into effect, most definitely. So yeah, that was something I did realize. It's just making this thing lifestyle, man. I'll be real, that's all it is. Lastly, was it lastly? Yes, lastly. I really like how I'm implementing my identity-based habits. I got this from Atomic Habits. Shout out to, brother, what's his name? I am tweaking. I don't recall. But shout out to my man. Shout out to Identity-Based Habits. So with this whole thing, this whole thinking with the habits, no, sorry, identity-based goals. I don't know why I wrote habits here, but it was from Atomic Habits. I think that's why I got it mixed up. I wasn't thinking straight. But anyways, basically a thing of, for example, like for me, it's I am a B student in all my modules. So the goal changed from I want to get B's to I am a B student in all my modules. With that, I've almost tricked my brain into believing like, yo, so what actions will it require for you to be that B student? It became a thing of asking myself like, yo, what is a B student doing right now? You know what I mean? What is a millionaire doing right now? What is multi-millionaire Oloito doing right now in order to get to that point? What is he doing so his future self can thank him for that? You know what I mean? What is he doing to fast forward that process and that wait time. Because the only thing between myself and my goals is time. That's all it is. The goals will be reached inevitably, regardless. It's just a matter of when. Could be, when I'm 30, could be when I'm 25, could be when I'm 45. All dependent on the rate that I move at, simply put. So yes, with the B module, the B, getting the B's, it's a work in progress. Work in progress. I'm definitely much happier, I can say, with the effort I'm putting in. Most definitely, day in day out. I'm showing up. I'm trying. Yes, I just think the marks will come as time goes on. As we know, man, it's a compound effect. That's another core value that's really being instilled in me. The compound effect, bro. Just showing up every day. That's what you. That's simply put. Another thing is being in control, controlling what I can control. Stop, trying to focus on things you can't control. What can I control as a student? The amount of work that I put in, showing up every day, the hours that I put in. So it's, doing the work on time every day. I can't control the dates that the work is due. Can I? No, I can't. With that, it's like I can also complain all I want, but progress or emotion. I spoke about this, man. You can, your emotions are valid, bro. Your excuses are valid. My excuses are very valid. Yo, I am overwhelmed. I can't even lie to you. I'm overwhelmed. But yo, where's that gonna get me? I can focus on the emotion. I can get the progress, and obviously we're gonna choose progress over anything, man. It is, it's crazy, but yo, we're pushing through. We're pushing through. Pretty much. Shout out to March. We only getting better, man. We're only getting better, man. It'll all make sense. It will all come full circle. But yeah.